I mean, we are in the presence of a celebrity right now. This is
We
like,
are.
She did the Super Bowl commercial with Bill Murray and Jeep.
Drop.
that's it right there.
This is it. This is the one that started it all.
You planned that.
No, I didn't, but yeah, that's cool.
Could we be in line for something funny to come out of the mouth?
Just might happen. What a little cute.
She's the best.
Everyone deserves to feel their best. Everyone deserves to move their best and not have pain.
I'm a little upset that Ben got like 2 inches taller because he's already tall, dark, and handsome enough.
Culture is something we think about like all the time at Strookies. You know, we're all coming from different cultures.
Our comments have exploded
Through the roof.
So there you go.
We
The
just
duo is back. I was bobbing my head to the
Still
Lancaster.
going.
I was jamming on the Lancaster Connect song. Although in our pre-show we were talking about metal bands. I forget how we got there, and I introduced Ben to a metal band that's all over Instagram and social media right now called Slaughter to Prevail, heavy metal.
I don't think I'll be listening.
I'm not sure
But-
it's most people's likings, but the showmanship and the theatrics of them, would harken back, maybe to what our parents and you watching might thought of was really cutting edge as Kiss back in the day.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But, by
Yeah.
today's standards, this is on par.
Right. It just blends right in.
But yeah, Slaughter to Prevail is like blowing up Instagram and TikTok because that's what bands do nowadays.
That
They get
the music industry is a little different. I'm sure producer Chris can
he can attest.
could chime in there. But
Yes.
yeah, to be a musician star these days, it's like
You're
do
not
something
doing
crazy.
it. You're
and
not doing it without the gram or the
put
talk.
it on video. Right. Put
And
it out there.
if you really want to be successful, you're on Snapgram
Okay.
or Face Chat.
That's the new one.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's right.
Is Gardner's
So-
on that yet?
We are we're on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, and we're happy to be those places and no other places because we're
You got
happy
me.
to be here.
You got me. Not a
Did
thing.
you fall for that?
Oh no.
Oh, well, it's possible.
It's very possible. Yeah, it's possible.
It's possible. Anyway, you're looking very tan. You're back from your beach vacation.
I am back from the
Look
beach.
at my.
It's been
Look at, it's like everybody's cameras just and screens just flashed white.
It's blinded
Was
by the light.
Blinded by it. Yeah.
Yeah, spent a nice week in Cape May with the family. Great weather. Yeah.
for you.
When you're in the sun a little bit, you'll get a little darker.
That's right.
This will fade. This will fade probably pretty soon. So enjoy it for a week.
Very good.
Thanks for holding down the fort.
Well, it's our team that does it, really. I was in
That's true.
Kentucky Thursday, Friday, Saturday last week, as you were in Cape May. And
I more meant the Lancaster Connects fort, but
Oh.
yeah, the Gardeners fort too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, our team does great every week, whether we're here or not. And yes, I was here last week with Prima Theater. I just realized we had a back-to-back theater shows here.
Well, yeah, we
I
planned
like
that.
it. Maybe
We planned that.
What's next week? I don't know. You're here solo next week.
Next week is.
So, You'll find out next week.
Yeah, that's true. You can find out next week. Pennsylvania Trail Association or Keystone Trail Association. Yeah,
Not theater.
not
That's
theater.
okay.
No, it's outdoors.
So anyway, but yeah, no. Speaking of our team, we value our team here. We have Drew, who's been with us for like 9 years. I think it's 10 years this fall. Chad's been with us for a little over a year. Phil's been with us for like 4 years. Sean and John on our delivery team have been with us for about 6 months or so. Everybody's just really great here, and we really appreciate them. And we show that appreciation in a number of different ways. But July is like beef month. Like, where's the beef?
Where bringing back the Wendy's slogan
Right.
from what, like 30
And,
years ago, 40 years ago.
Yeah. So this morning, in partnership or customership with Ironstone Spring Farms, we wrote a check to them for a whole steer, and this was a big one. This we're going to go through some of the photos, but that's what 539.6 pounds of Lancaster grass-fed beef looks like in a box.
It's amazing beef. We've
It-
done this
it
for
really is.
what, 4 years now?
I think so.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years. Yeah.
everything that we get from them is fantastic. The
Yeah.
cuts, the ground beef.
It really
It's
is.
awesome.
So thank you to Liz Martin at Ironstone Spring Farm in Lancaster. More Millersville, actually,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
Lancaster address. You can look them up on social media and online. Ironstone Spring Farm. She does fantastic grass-fed finished beef. No hormones, no growth stuff. None of the. There we go.
Yeah.
None of the nasty stuff at all. 5-generation farm there that I see on the screen. We were in a referral group with her when she had her insurance agency. Just a great person, great asset to our community. She now focuses, I believe, just on the farm and her philanthropy. And so,
We should have Liz on the show sometime.
yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, she's living that idyllic farm life right now.
That's
So I don't
true.
know.
That's true.
But yeah, so we get from them once a year, and I'm a little concerned because my friend group, my personal friend group, saw what we were doing last year and said we want in. So I have 2 other groups of beef cow purchasing groups aligned, but this one was like 150 pounds bigger,
Than
and
the last cow.
than last year's summer cow, and as the year goes on, they get bigger, right? Because they're just out there living the
they're gonna
life, eating the grass and growing, and they get bigger. So I'm kind of concerned. So I sent Liz a message like, hey, was this an outlier or is this what we should expect? Because we're going to need a bigger freezer if this is the case. And instead of dividing it into like 1/6 pools, I might have to go to like 1/8 or something
Right.
like that because
Right.
this was a lot of beef. Like those, like where's the beef? The beef is all over the place here today in coolers, but we have it, and we do that because we thank our team.
Yeah, so we split it all up, gave everybody, what?
Filled their freezer.
Seven of us, so split it all up.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
It's a fun morning here in July when we do that.
That's right. And
everybody brings their coolers in,
and we don't do it instead of next week's payroll, right? This is on top of everything that they get paid.
That's right. That's right. I would hope people wouldn't think we would do that.
Right? You're getting paid in meat this week.
That harkens back like the company store days.
Right.
Where the miners got paid in like wooden nickels and then had to go buy their groceries at 7 times the cost of the company store.
Gosh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're not doing that. We're not playing those games.
No, we don't do that. But anyway, so that was our magic trick for our people today. But we've got Brett Myers from Magic and Wonder Dinner Theater with us again for a repeat. It's kind of like SNL. Hi, Brett. You're
how are
on
you
your number
guys?
2.
Yes, honored to be back. Good to see you guys again.
Good to see you.
The SNL does like a 5-timers club, right? Right. So
yeah,
I mean, maybe we won't get the 5-timers, but maybe a 3rd-timer club. So
we could have a 3rd-timer club.
So next year, Brett, look,
wow, yes,
have you back and do a big 3rd-timer thing, right?
Maybe the 3rd time we have you guys come out here and we'll do something at the theater.
Oh my gosh,
it can be like
to
appear, disappear.
Now that
you could hypnotize Ben and make him cluck like a chicken.
That would be.
I'm not a hypnotist, but I know a few, so yeah, we could bring in the hypnotist if you guys like.
Gosh,
you get Ben.
That would be fantastic.
That'd be great. Try to hypnotize me and make me dance, which I never do.
I think we've got the beginnings of our 200th episode.
Well, Brett doesn't do hypnosis.
Well,
Brett doesn't do that.
It'll be a whole thing. It'll be,
Yeah.
Anyways, well, it's good to see you guys. Yeah, I know it's an honor to be back, and it's always fun to interact with you guys. And I'm excited to talk to you guys today.
Although you thought for half a second there about the hypnotizing thing, about fun to interact, you're like, what did I get myself into this time around? But anyway, Brett, thank you for being here. Let's jump in. So your very first magic trick that you mastered, which one was that?
Oh, that was a card trick that I learned off of a video series that basically you have an audience member repeat the same steps that you do. They pick out their favorite card and you're doing the exact same thing. And then the cards end up matching where your favorite card ends up being my favorite card. The trick was called Do As I Do. And I remember I got a video series, a video course teaching small, simple tricks that you could do with everyday household objects. And then just looking at that, looking and studying that trick and the presentation of it, And then I remember my first audiences being my parents. Of course, I feel like that's every first magician's audience is usually their parents, and got so excited, wanted to show that to them, then started showing other friends on the school bus, as well as friends and family members at family reunions. And that was kind of my humble beginnings when it comes to the performance track and the performance career.
Did you say how old you were when you did that first trick?
Yeah, I didn't say that, but I was basically about 14 years old when I started that. So about 13, 14, I had gotten, I think, a magic kit when I was about 7 or 8 years old. But like a lot of us, you get something when you're young and you pick it up, you learn something and you put it away. I can't really tell you what was inside of that first magic kit, but I remember being fascinated with it. And it wasn't until I was about 14 years old that a friend loaned me some videos, and I decided, you know what? I really want to try to do this. I want to try to like master this art form of magic, because it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. But just like any art form or sport or any ability that you learn, it takes a lot of time, effort, and practice. And of course, the best teacher is experience.
Yeah. Getting in the reps, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yes, absolutely. So I remember the first year that I started touring, I was a senior in high school, and the first shows that I did were awful. I still look back on some of the footage from those first early years, and I look back on it. It's just, it's cringeworthy, just because of the way that, the tricks were poorly done. They were poorly presented. The words were haphazardly put together. And it just is, it's the best that you can do, because you can only do as well as you know how to do. And then fast forward about 10 years from that point, that's when we started doing shows in Lancaster at Magic and Wonder. We started Magic and Wonder in Lancaster and started performing actually at Birdenhan. They had a performance venue that was on the lower level of their restaurant. And again, first year, there's always a lot that you're learning. And I look back on those first years and I'm like, wow, I'm really glad that we're not doing those same illusions anymore. There's definitely moments where, you have that bittersweet memory where you're like, oh, that trick that we used to do with the fireflies, and we made this magical moment appear from the audience. It was so cool and wonderful. But there's certain things that as you grow and advance and you develop in any craft or ability, you kind of look past on that and you say, okay, that worked for that time. And now you're continuing to grow and develop and try new things.
Just to kind of maybe go a little left turn in our conversation, it dawns on me that film, as you had to evaluate your skills, like it's great today to have that. And it's so largely easily done with great cameras and video cameras and phones in our pocket, right? But the flip side of that is, as a kid, everything you do now can be and often is put on tape. And you just don't have that like that wonderment and that freedom of trying it out and not having it recorded, right?
Yeah, I feel like
there's some freedom in just being able to make a mistake. There's some freedom in, like, I bring this up because I was looking at my son's football film, because we've got recruiters working with him now, and we need film. And I was looking at his freshman year, and that was a rough year and so much different than the 10th grade year. And the recruiter said, we don't need that freshman year. And I'm like, oh, thank God, because that was a rough year. And I just think kids today, if they want to pick this up, it's just that, again, social media just kind of puts a pressure on them. Do you think more kids would be attracted to magic if they could just do it without some of it being recorded?
I'm not sure. I know that the advantage to you being able to record something is that you can record it 50 times and get it right that 1 out of 50 times. And then that's the video that you upload, as opposed to when you're just walking up to somebody, you don't have the luxury to say, hey, give me 50 chances. I'm going to get this right one of these times. So it's just different. I feel like there's definitely pros and cons to it. I think that, when it comes to even magic for television, magic for the screens, there's different things that you can do that you can't do in live theater or live performance and setting. For example, you're controlling the angle of the camera. So I may be able to move in an elephant in the screen because all I'm controlling is this frame. I'm not having to control what people see outside of the frame. But that's true of anything within film, is that you're always controlling what the audience sees here. In theater, it's a little different because your angle is a little bit wider. Obviously, if the audience was perhaps behind stage or backstage, they're going to get a different show and a different experience than what they're able to see. But it's all about kind of controlling those angles and the experience that the audience has.
Yeah.
Brett, when you were in high school, so you started, your first tricks there, 14, 15 years old, started doing shows senior year in high school. What was it about, like what drove you to keep doing it, to keep learning more tricks, to then do your own show? Like, is it the reactions of the people, or is it just learning as many tricks as you can? Like what drives you in magic?
Yeah, I think that what it is I love sharing wonder with other people. I think maybe a way of expressing this is, it doesn't have to be a magic trick, but like if I discover something amazing, whether, you go to an amusement park and you ride this amazing roller coaster, an amazing ride, and the other people were too scared to do it, you come off and you say, you got to go experience this. You got to go. This was incredible. You got to go try it. Like that same type of excitement, that same desire for people to experience something that's new, different, and surprising, and sort of a thrill ride is sort of the drive that I have for learning the magic, which is when I learn something that is really fun, is really surprising, really delightful, then my desire is to give that gift to other people. And so I think sometimes the desire can be in performer, it's all about me. It's like, look what I can do. I can do really something fun and extraordinary. And I think, like, to be honest, when I first started, I think there was some of that motivation tied in with it. I feel like as I've learned and grown, it's more about what can I give to other people. It's not about trying to impress other people with the cool illusions and the tricks that we're doing on stage, but it's really about giving them a gift of a memory for them to share with their family, their friends, because life is short. And I'm a father of two young boys that are 9 and 7 years old. I can't believe that they're already that age. And I know how fast that window goes by, where in a blink of an eye, they're now teenagers. They're now grown and moved out of the house, or at least that's what other people tell me.
Two of them.
What is it? You have teenagers?
It's 2 that are 16 and 20, and it has gone like that.
So to be able to say, hey, life is short, life is so brief, take a moment of your time to invest in the ones that you love, in your family and your friends, to create a wonder-filled memory and a wonder-filled experience. And so that's what we're doing here, is we're all about manufacturing that sense of wonder and giving that gift to others.
That's very much the same vein of thought and inspiration that Prima Theater, our guest last week, had. They do theater production, whereas you're more magic focused, wonderment, excitement focused, but really kind of the same feel, right? You're both going around the bush. You're meeting to this amazing experience where you're creating memories together, which is
I love Prima Theater, by the way. You brought them up. Mitch Nugent, who was the founder of Prima, I don't know if he was on the show or not.
He was.
But yeah, Mitch has been a longtime friend and a longtime advocate of ours. In fact, when we first started deciding that we were going to do shows in Lancaster, Mitch took time out of his busy schedule to sit down with us and really just help us to look through a director's eyes. Because when we started this, we didn't have the luxury of having other people necessarily speak a lot into what we were doing. We would record it, make notes, and then go back and share those notes with other people. But actually to have a person sitting there and being able to give you ideas on, hey, this is falling well. Hey, this is not connecting. Hey, I feel like this can be better delivered in this way, was invaluable. And Mitch, I'm a huge fan of, and he's a great guy. And I'm really glad that you guys were able to connect with him.
Yeah.
Brett, you hinted at the beginnings of Magic and Wonder Theater. Let's talk about more what it is, where it is, what you do there, what the experience is like. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we are now in our 9th season of Magic and Wonder, which is crazy. We started in 2016, and it's something where it is more than a magic show. It is a variety show that features the grand illusions, the comedy, as well as the dynamic circus arts. We have an aerialist that does the aerial acrobatics, where they're flying through the air and creating that sense of wonder throughout the performance. But it's really about taking people on a journey. So like when this year we're doing the show Imaginarium, which is all about taking folks to different worlds of imagination. So we're going to take you to the circus. We're going to take you to Hollywood, to the 1950s, to steampunk, to Willy Wonka, even Harry Houdini. And we're going to look at different magical elements through those lenses, and really just about creating that overall spectacle through large scale illusions, through just different experiences, audience participation, And even there's a comedy character named Shirley where she'll come on and kind of disrupt the show in a funny and unique way and try to creatively write herself into the show. So it's something where people will think, or they'll ask me, is this a kid's show? And I often will say, we are family friendly. Your kids are going to love it, but it is something where even if you don't have kids, you're still going to enjoy this journey of wonder and imagination and creativity. And I've had several guests even come through the doors and say, you know what, I enjoyed the show. My kids loved it, but I loved it even more than my kids did. Or we didn't even have kids along with us, but this was so much fun. I never thought I would enjoy a magic show, but it's just, yeah. Right now you're seeing one of the other ways that we create wonder, which is through our own line of specialty drinks experiences. And they're packed with candy and goblet, and they come out served with a sparkler. And that is definitely something where automatically when those things come out and you get one of those delivered to your table, you're instantly taking a picture, and people tag us all the time on Instagram for those things. So that's a lot of fun.
We're going to need to do that when we're in person on our next time. Brett's
absolutely.
on.
Yes. You guys could help yourself to one of the magic goblets.
Yes. I'll take mine with bourbon and candy.
Yeah, we were talking before about that you were a fan of bourbon. So yeah.
Just any candy and any bourbon. I don't just mix it up.
Yep.
And the firecracker. I'll take that.
We'll take you have to have the firecracker.
Yeah, we'll do that.
This is actually something new that we started doing. We rolled these out end of last year. So this would have been probably in the October, November timeframe. And we even do drinks now that are served with dry ice. And so you get like the bubbling and smoking effect where you can have sort of like the different brews and the cocktails that kind of come to you delivered. And it's just a lot of fun. So it's how can we take not just the show and create a show, but how can we take food and create a show? How can we take drinks and create a show? How can we take the entire experience? And one of the other things that we're in the middle of doing is we're renovating our lobby, and we are transforming the lobby into like a Houdini's Parlor Room Emporium, where it's telling you different facts about how Harry Houdini has history here in Lancaster County, and even some in his connections to the area, where I don't know if you knew this or not, but when Harry Houdini was 19 years old, he hopped off the station at Lancaster Station and discovered that, as luck would have it, that Lancaster was the winter home of the Welsh Brothers Circus. And then he signed a 5-month contract with the Welsh Brothers Circus, where he would do and perform his famous trunk escape illusion. That was the metamorphosis trunk escape that we later would know and remember him for that trick. And he kind of had some of his early beginnings and his early roots here in Lancaster before moving to Canada, discovering that magic was not necessarily the focus or the thing that really set him apart. When he came back to the United States years later, that's really when he made his name as an escape artist or in escapology.
I had no idea.
He's who knew that Harry Houdini had escapology roots here.
A new word for you too, isn't it?
It is. I really didn't want to butcher that word.
Yeah, you did great. I really got to commend you.
Escapology.
He's
an escapologist.
Brett, the cool. I mean, we know that's from the last show, and if you didn't see Brett, the watchers, if you haven't seen the first show we did with Brett, go back to our page, lancasterconnects.com, click on episodes, and search for the last episode we did with Brett. But your shows are 100% you, authentic, you and your team. You're creating these shows from scratch, right?
We are, yeah. So we go through a creative and development phase where we will work with a small team of creatives that are writing really the content and the illusions and how we present them. So again, I think what sets us apart is not that you're going to come here and you're going to say, hey, I'm seeing magic that no one else has ever performed. But I think you're going to see it done in a way that nobody else has done it before, or told through a thread, whether it's connecting this trick that may be common for magicians to do, but tying it into the circus, or tying it into a steampunk theme, or tying it into even the whole candy world of Wonka. That's kind of something where, we're taking you on that journey.
The other thing I remember from the show before is this is a family affair. Mm-hmm. Your wife is involved. You can talk about her, and your boys are involved as well, I think.
They are, yeah. So my wife is involved. She has been involved for, since the very beginning. And then also my boys pretty much since the time they've been born, they've been joining us here on stage,
That's
creating
awesome.
moments of wonder where they would just, you know, do their appearance for 20 seconds and then they would go off and off they went. But yeah, it's something where we like to involve our whole family because, again, it's something where, yep, there's a picture of my wife. She also operates as our group sales director and many other functions as well. I feel like she and she's really the secret behind our success because, again, I may have the dream, I may have the vision, I may have, you know, where are we going, but she really has helped fill in the gaps of how do we communicate this step by step to our team and break it down for them. It's kind of like the wide lens, narrow lens focus, where if you ask me what feeling do I want to accomplish, what do I want the audience to experience, what do I want the audience to feel, I can tell you that. If you ask me where a person should stand, I don't have a clue. So that's something where my wife would have to tell you, Ben, hey, you need to stand this way and you need to point focus over here and you want to enter at this specific moment. So it's just,
Gotcha.
you know, working as a team to make that accomplished, as well as the team has expanded from just my wife and I to also now we have someone who creates the entire sound experience from scratch, where he's creating the entire like ebb and flow of the entire show. And then we also have, you know, directors that are speaking into the overall big picture, because that's hard to do that while you're also simultaneously on stage crafting and creating the moments that you're a part of.
Yeah. So you don't just show up and do card tricks.
No. I wish that was the case. That sounds like that would be a much easier job to do, but
yeah.
You know, it's something where
it wouldn't be lasting, right? What you're doing is creating lasting
correct.
memory,
Yes,
lasting
absolutely.
impact on the community, for families, for people to come and really enjoy something special.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like, you know, the performing element is one side of my job and what I do, and then the other part of it is actually running the business. And as you guys are business owners involved with the business, you know, like, you know, it's not just about selling the widget or selling the mattress or creating the experience or creating the service. It is also about managing, making sure budgets stay intact, making sure that financial protections are intact, making sure that culture and team morale is intact, and how do we lead and guide people and instill leadership principles that help them to grow and flourish. So it's not just about pouring into our audiences. It's about, like, you know, when Labrina and I moved into the building that we're in right now, that would have been January 1st of 2020, and we can seat about 320 people. It was me, Labrina, and 5 other people that were here. Mm-hmm. And now it is, you know, we have 43 employees that are now
making fantastic.
Wow.
Experience. So
congratulations.
We've seen that tremendous growth, but we've also seen the operations where it's kind of like you're building the systems while you'll simultaneously be building the revenue side of things. So you're constantly trying to stay in balance, where you don't grow too big too fast, but you also don't grow too fast that your operations can't support it or that your revenue can't support the operations. So
Brett, I don't know if we flashed it up on the screen, but we should put your address up there, and you know, maybe you can describe where you are. I know you're on Route 30, east side of town. There it is.
Yeah, we're basically about 5 minutes from Dutch Wonderland. So when you're heading on the east side of Lancaster and you pass Dutch Wonderland, we are located in Paradise. A lot of people know Revere Tavern because that's been there for over 50 years. We are located right behind that. The building that we're in was previously known as Rainbow Comedy Playhouse. But again, they went out of business in 2019. That facility became available. We took over the building and the operations in 2020. And yeah, we're not far from Sight and Sound, Dutch Wonderland. We're kind of like in the heart of the Amish farmlands on the east side of Lancaster. So come on out to Paradise and you can experience something very unique where you're seeing magic here in Paradise, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I love it. So Houdini was instrumental for you, it sounds like.
Yes. I mean, I feel like Houdini is definitely one of the most iconic, most remembered magicians of all time. And his story is very fascinating. I've read different biographies about Houdini, even some of the stuff that he wrote about his experiences. And it's just very fascinating. He's just a very unique and interesting personality. What I like to explain to people is before you had Marvel, before you had DC cinematic universes, before you had any comic book heroes, you had Houdini, which really was one of the very first American superheroes. And he was kind of this idea that defined a generation where people were going through tough times. You were going through the Great Depressions. You were going through these times where poverty was really holding people back. And to have a figure emerge from culture that said, no chain will hold me, no lock will hold me. I will be able to escape anything that holds you back. Everybody looked at that. And that is, I mean, that's Superman. That is Superman before there was Superman.
That's
cool. I never
thought about that. So Houdini's kind of the modern day bedrock escapologist. I'm going to try to
use that
word 3 more times on the show. So who else like,
Sure. I mean, there's definitely people throughout history that have completely shaped. And I mean, this could be a whole separate podcast that other guys who have studied the history of magic would be able to tell the stories much better. But I think that other people that have really shaped it would be Doug Henning. He was kind of the first major superstar of magic, where he had a show on Broadway called The Magic Show that ran for many, many years. And it was a huge success. You can actually watch video footage. There used to be it on Amazon Prime, had The Magic Show by Doug Henning, that you could go back and actually watch the whole thing in its entirety. Then also you had, after Doug Henning kind of paved the way for the next big, huge icon in magic, which would be David Copperfield, which a lot of people would recognize the name David Copperfield because like, oh, he's the guy that made the Statue of Liberty disappear. And so, yeah, there's tons of lineage, there's tons of history, there's tons of tie-ins where even just understanding what was magic like during the Victorian era, what was magic like during the 1800s, what was magic like not even inside the United States, but in England and other places. It's very fascinating. It's a really, really cool art that has so much unique history and tie-ins to many different things. In fact, one of the things people don't understand is that special effects in movies was actually created by a French magician named Georges Méliès, and he was like the founding father of special effects. And he basically, film started off as a magic trick because you're making something inanimate come to life. All of a sudden the pictures were moving and suddenly it was coming at audiences. There was a train rushing towards them, and all of that was almost perceived to be a magic trick. And so there's lots of different like spin-offs and tie-ins that magic has connections to many different fields.
Yeah. I remember watching a YouTube video about like a train scene, early film, a train being made to move over the mountains. I think it was the Yellow Brick Road tornado. What is the movie I'm thinking of?
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. That one. There, I can say escapology, but I can't remember Wizard of Oz. There's one. I get 2 more.
The Lion, the Tin Man.
Yeah. Like that had a lot of special effects in it, which was probably a little more advanced than the earlier stuff. But yeah, very cool. Thank you for the history there. So as we were warming up behind the scenes, you were showing us some cards and.
Yeah, I brought
looked like some cool tricks. You have some magic for us? Is that what we got on tap?
I did bring a little something here today that I thought you guys might enjoy, but I got to know who's going to be the volunteer. Is it going to be Jeff or Ben?
It's me.
All right, Ben. All right, here we go. So here's what we're going to do is I'm
nervous.
Yeah, me too.
You should be, because we worked out something. We worked out something pretty incredible here.
Oh, okay.
We were talking about animation and how animation, even movie special effects, kind of came to be. I'm not a very good artist, but I can draw a stick figure, and I have named this stick figure Bob. And Bob does a pick a card, any card trick, and he's actually drawn. I don't know if I can do this or not. He's drawn on the back of every one of these cards like this.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
And what he does is he does a pick a card, any card trick. So Ben, I have a deck here that is in brand new deck order, which is basically the order that the deck is in when you buy it. So I have ace through king of spades, then ace through king of diamonds, king through ace of clubs, and then king through ace of hearts. Ben, what card would you like Bob to find for you today?
And I'm allowed to say it.
Yeah, you got to say it because, yeah. So I'm going to pull it out. What do I want to say?
We'll say the 4 of clubs.
4 of clubs. So this card right here. Is that right?
Yes, that's the one.
All right. So what we're going to do, sorry, you guys can't see this here. I'm going to actually put this out here. Now, if you were here, I would like put this on the thing for you, and you kind of be able to hold on to it here. So the 4 of clubs. But I'm going to just lay it over here on the table.
Pretending
Bob is going to peek at the table that this is sitting on. Bob, are you ready? I think I saw a little wave to say that he was ready. So what happens is as I flip down through this creates the impression of that moving picture that we talked about earlier, but this is best presented in flipbook fashion. So here is cartoon. Watch.
Okay. Cartoon. Okay. It's going in the cannon. Oh. Yeah, he's
got a card
Bob,
here.
Oh, what?
No.
No. Stop it.
Well, we
Can
didn't
you get a
work
little
that
round of
out,
applause for
Brett.
Bob? There it is. Yes.
Man.
Bob found your
Yeah.
card, the 4 of clubs.
No way.
So anyways, yeah, what I created for you just now was just a little small taste of what we do. When we do stuff on stage, it might be a little bit bigger. Like you might have.
I want to be a magician. No more mattresses. I want to be a magician.
Oh. Okay.
What?
Where things appear, disappear, ladies are sawn in half. Then you might even start floating in the air just like that table did. But we've got all kinds of different fun things that happen here at the theater.
I'm always blown away when I see stuff like that.
Like the table was. What? What just happened?
I wasn't expecting the table to move.
That was
Next
very
time you
cool.
can check for the invisible strings. I'll let you guys go
Yeah.
over here. And you guys
I was looking for the strings and I didn't see them.
Yeah, it was
Didn't
like
see 'em.
the glisten.
Cameras
in the
can hide a
lights.
lot of things, but yeah, if you guys were here, I would have you wave your hands over it, make sure there's no strings. But that's something where, again, certain things that can be done on camera can't necessarily be done in person. But these are both
Okay.
things that can be done in person. Or if I was standing next to you guys, it would be something that you would be
Yeah.
able to experience and it happened for you.
Bob and the 4 clubs, man. That was. I'm still.
I've never seen a trick like that.
Uh,
He had it there in his hands.
So you guys are gonna have to come out and you have to see more magic. You'll have to experience more
Yeah.
wonder when you come out here. Bring your families, bring your friends, bring whoever. It's all ages. The one thing that I love about what we get to do is that grandparents, kids, as well as parents, teenagers, all ages can come together and enjoy it. So it's not just something where I kind of feel a lot of inspiration from Walt Disney, where Disney kind of took something that at the time was sort of geared towards one demographic, where you had amusement parks, but he said, wouldn't it be great if a place could come together where kids, adults, the entire family could come and play together? And that's really something that I feel a deep inspiration for, where all ages are going to be able to come and enjoy it. Look at that. That young gentleman is doing some great magic there that he bought at the magic shop that we have here. And he's
Very
making
cool.
the pages become colored and disappeared and all that. So
Okay.
So you have a magic shop on site, and
Mhm.
before we wrap up, we'll get when the dates are,
Sure.
when you normally run and all that stuff. But so, do you love seeing the young kids get into the magic shop and pick out this thing or that thing? And
yeah,
can you look at a kid and say, you know what, I bet you there's something about them where they're going to stick with this.
Yeah, I feel like I love being able to have people come and be inspired. Or I know there are times where grandparents will come by themselves to the show and they'll buy a trick that they see in the magic shop that we teach them. And now suddenly they're going to be the coolest grandparent this kid has ever met, because they're going to come back and they're going to give this kid this magic trick that they bought. And, being able to even show that and experience that. You asked about like when people can come to see the shows. We operate pretty much year round. So March we open and we run all the way through the end of December. And we do basically 5 magic shows per week, one show every day, Tuesday through Saturday. Our only dark days are Sundays and Mondays, but pretty much it's consistent throughout the entire year. We're going to do 5 magic shows. We also do a music review show called Jukebox Jive. I'm not in that show, but that's kind of a way that we can kind of expand what we offer so that it's not just magic. So for people that say, oh, I don't know if I would enjoy magic, it's like, great. Well, we're going to take you through the wonder decades, the wonder years, the best music of rock and roll, and recreate some of those wonder-filled moments that we've kind of romanticized in our eyes. Of whether it's drive-in movie, or we're taking you to the 1950 soda pop shop, or we're taking you to Woodstock, or we're taking you to an Elvis concert. Like, these are kind of the moments that you're going to experience that still evoke that sense of wonder, but we do it through a different art form, which is a music show as opposed to magic.
You know, I bet you Ben would appreciate if you would like jump ahead a handful of decades and have the Swiftie eras.
We have the 80s. We have yet to get to the Swiftie
you got to get
eras.
the.
So we're all the way to the 80s now. We do different hits from the 80s, which audiences like. But yeah, I too. And Ben, let's do it sometime in the
He
future.
would be there.
Let's go.
A Swifties tribute, or
He told me his Spotify is Swiftie right now.
Well, I have the music I like to listen to, but then my daughter's Swiftie has crept in, and it's blasted my algorithm.
That's what he says.
Yeah, right.
It just happens that for some reason, when you hop into your car, Taylor Swift just somehow impossibly just keeps playing while even your daughter's not there.
Meanwhile, the kids have their own phones and their own music accounts. But yeah, sure, that's what it is.
It was because of the road trip. Yeah, that's what it was.
So,
what's the best way to get tickets to your show? Go to the website?
Yeah, if you go to lancastermagicshow.com, magicandwondershow.com, both those places go to the same place, and you can pick your seats online. So you can see kind of where you're going to be seated at in the theater. You also can always just call our box office, which is the 717-323-3077 number. Our team will be happy to help answer any questions that you have. We do a full dinner and theater show, which means that if you come and you do dinner and theater, the dinner and show, you're going to arrive 90 minutes prior to the show time. If the show starts at 7, you're coming at 5:30. You're going to enjoy the all-you-can-eat buffet that we have set up here at the theater. And then you can order those specialty drinks, specialty cocktails, as well as if you end up just doing show only, you can still order off of our menu. It's not all you can eat, but it's like you can order burgers, you can order chicken tenders, you can order pizza. But yeah, we're always kind of crafting and creating new things. And I'm excited to see how we continue to create immersive experiences with the overall food experience, as well as the drinks and the snacks and stuff that we offer here at the theater.
Yeah. I'm going to ask a question that this is working without a net now.
All right.
So
we do that sometimes.
So when people buy tickets,
Mhm.
Do you have service fees as part of your ticketing, or how's that?
So the way that's okay. If you call the box office directly, there's no service fees. If you come to the theater, there's no service fee. The only time that there is a service fee is if you book your tickets online, which does not it doesn't go through us. It basically is just part of the online booking process. So yeah, it's something where if that's a concern, then just give us a call and we'll take care of your tickets.
You have an avenue.
We have a way to get around that. That's not something. But again, for that 24/7, you want to buy your tickets now, you want to have the peace of mind or whatever. And it's not ridiculous. I know there's some places that have gone crazy with service fees. Ours are not that astronomically high. I think it's like, I think it's like 6% or something like that.
So that's and the truth of the matter is, and I don't want to turn this negative or anything, but I wanted to bring it up because of the value that you offer right here in town. Great show, great dinner, great experience. My wife and I are going to a certain country music show in the fall, and we bought our tickets. And by the time you check out, it's 36% in fees.
Yeah, I don't like the model of having a lot of hidden fees. We try, I will say this, a lot of people come in and they'll look at our prices on our concessions and they'll be like, oh my goodness, these are really good prices. And it's like, yes, we're not trying to be as expensive as the movie theaters. We're not trying to be as expensive as some of the other places. But at the same time, we're trying to offer a quality product at a reasonable price that's affordable for people that want to create that family memory. And I think it's something where, it isn't something where we're trying to be the most economical option for people, but at the same time, we are trying to do something that we feel like is a fair value.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the message, value, right? When you have a family of 4, the investment in the moment is part of it because you got 4 mouths to feed, you got 4 seats to fill. At the same time, you're doing a great job of being a good steward of your value to market because you want to continue to put on great shows. You want to invest in new equipment for new tricks and new songs and new sound and everything. So I just wanted to bring it up because I kind of felt you would have been handling it in a great way.
Yeah.
And look, if that nominal fee to book at 11 o'clock at night when you pick this up in your Facebook feed 2 weeks from now bothers you, call them in the morning and you won't pay that at all. A lot of places you don't have that opportunity whatsoever. So
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. So Tuesday through Saturday, you can catch a show, get dinner, enjoy the buffet, order an amazing drink, pick up a magic trick with your kids or with you, or if not, just a wonderful thing you're doing there at Magic and Wonder Dinner Theater.
Yeah, show times that we do that are consistent throughout the week is matinees are at 2:00, and they are on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. The 7:00 magic shows are on Wednesdays and Fridays. So again, I think some people, especially if they have youngsters that need to go to bed earlier, then they like the 2:00 time slot because you're going to get out of here around like 4:00 then. With plenty of time, to enjoy the rest of the evening. But for somebody who's looking for, hey, what is there to do in Lancaster County once the sun goes down? Like, we also are an option that people can come and you can go spend your day on the railroad, or you can go through Amish country or go through the shops. But then here in the evening, you can come and enjoy. We say we are Vegas style, but family friendly, or Vegas quality family friendly, which means that we're going to have the big, large scale illusions. And I've had other people come up and say there aren't many magic shows on the East Coast like this, where it's this type of scale. Like, you'll see other performance venues that may specialize more in the close up or the smaller magic. We do a variety of things. There's like one close-up trick that I'll do where we have a camera zoomed in and you can kind of see the magic happening up close. But at the same time, everything else is very big. It's the spectacle, it's the people appearing, disappearing, and all of that.
Yeah.
What's next for Magic and Wonder Theater? I mean, you mentioned the lobby remodel, the Harry Houdini theme. What's next?
So our goals for the future is that we want to kind of create a cohesiveness to the entire experience, so that as soon as you walk up to the building, you already feel like you've stepped into the magic. You're already starting to be immersed. You're already feeling like, wow, I just stepped into this, world of wonder. And so that's something that we're going to continue to do, where we're renovating the lobby. We want to renovate the exterior. And then going into next year, we actually want to create a meal that is tied into the show. So if you come to see Jukebox, the Jukebox Jive Show, you're going to get food that sort of is in lieu of that style of show. So it may be more of like your diner food. It may be like the sliders or the meatloaf, or like, again, the American palate of the American cuisine type of classical, traditional, what your mom or your grandmother would have made for you.
A malted milkshake.
Malted milkshake, absolutely. So we're figuring out like ways to do that. And then for the magic show, how do we create sort of a meal that's themed to a magic show, either through the presentation or through different ways that we may have the names of the food themselves, or the story that we tell around it. So all this is kind of something that we're working on, and it's all something that we are excited about doing for the future. I apologize that this pie is just like,
you just make him disappear. Come on.
Apparently he's drawn to the light. I don't know what it is, but
make him disappear. Let's go.
I think last time I was talking to you, I had a guest walk in, and this time I just have problems with flies. I don't know what is happening. So it's just right here, right now. I don't know what. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think what's next is we're continue to grow, expand. We're going to continue to figure out ways in which we can immerse our audiences. And even like in the lobby, there are going to be interactive elements where maybe you have a trunk that's tied with chains and it's like moving and shaking because someone's trying to escape from the inside of it. Or there's different ways in which you can interact with different things in the lobby, where if you take this magic wand and you point to it, all of a sudden something magical happens. A rabbit appears out of a top hat using a Pepper's Ghost effect, which was popularized at the Haunted Mansion, as well as other, that's an old magic trick that comes from the late 1800s, early 1900s. So it's like those type of elements are the things where we're moving towards and saying, how do we create more story? How do we create more immersiveness? How do we kind of set ourselves apart from anything else that there is to do here in this area, and just continue to make what we're creating, which is wonder, even more a part of what we're doing.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Love it. Love the forward vision. Love everything that you're bringing to the county. 5 days a week, catch a great show, family friendly, or just great for you and your wife, your partner, your spouse. Catch a show.
Yeah.
Support local arts like this, local assets that we have that make Lancaster County great. Thanks for being a part of it, Brett. Appreciate all
Absolutely.
your time.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you inviting me on for a second time. Honored to do it, and cross my fingers for that third time to be able to do something with you guys in person here.
I want to be sawed in half.
Sounds great.
You got time for a few more questions? Connection cocktail time?
Sure, let's do it. Yep.
You want to go first?
Yeah. So you were born and raised in Chambersburg. What brought you to Lancaster?
Yes, born and raised in Chambersburg. I moved to Lancaster about 13, 14 years ago. The reason we moved to Lancaster was because Chambersburg did not have a lot of artists, anybody in theater in that area. So the idea and thought was, well, you can either be the biggest fish in a small pond, or you can go to a larger pond that you can learn and grow from other larger fish. And so we kind of looked at basing ourselves out of an area in the mid-Atlantic Northeast region, because that's where a lot of my connections, and at the time I was touring and traveling the country doing magic shows and partnering with ministry and nonprofit organizations. But a lot of those events were centered around the Northeast mid-Atlantic region. So we had looked at maybe moving to the Southeast, down around Nashville and that area. And we felt like there were already several magicians that were down in that region. And so we said, you know what, why don't we go to an area like Lancaster that doesn't have anything really magic related, is closer to a lot of the connections. And here we are.
That's really cool. That's a cool story.
Very good.
Aside from magic and, of course, the theater and everything you do there, what are some of your other passions?
I kind of referenced this earlier, but I'm a huge amusement park, theme park fan. I love going to places like Universal or Disney that are able just to take and transport you into a different world. I love walking around different shops of like the Harry Potter universe. And you just feel like you're right in the middle of the movie. I love going to, just place like Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, where you can walk around different countries and you can sample different foods and you can experience different things where you feel like you're in a different world. And I think what's so powerful about that is that you're able to like take people out of their reality, maybe their worries, their troubles, the things that, have been at the focus of their mind. They're able to set that aside for a moment and they're able to go on a journey with you and take them into the world that you want them to experience. So I love roller coasters. So I enjoy going to Hershey Park and riding Wildcats Revenge or any of the roller coasters out there. I'm a huge roller coaster buff. And if you ask me, I'm the guy that's usually sitting there arguing with the friend saying, no, this was manufactured by this designer or this person. Yeah, did you know the first blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm that guy.
Yeah, Drew here at the store, who's been with us about 9 years, I think coming up on 10 years in December. He's a big roller coaster fan, gets out to Cedar Point, Ohio every year and has a Hershey Park pass. And you guys would jam out on roller coasters.
For sure.
All right, last question, and then we'll let you off the hook. Although it seems like you like being on Lancaster Connects, so that's good. What's your favorite Lancaster small business?
Okay. I think the way that I would answer that question is I love Hope International, which they started in Lancaster. Keystone Custom Homes kind of started off. Am I kind of repeating something you guys already know? Like,
we had Jeff Keystone on the show.
Okay. So I actually, years ago, we did fundraiser shows for Hope International and kind of partner with them to help make poverty disappear and help some of the poorest communities around the world. So I feel like, I love the vision that Jeff had where he just, tried in some ways to send materials to another country to help them. And then that trying to help them actually was hurting them. And they said, please stop sending this. Our people are becoming dependent upon this resource that's being sent here. And so then they step back and they say, what can we do to actually help people raise themselves out of poverty instead of creating dependency upon foreign aid and foreign help? Like, that's not the goal. There's not sustainability in that, because as soon as that dries up, then, it's gone. So I feel like Hope International, it's a local business that started and yet it has global and international impact. And yet it kind of all started with sort of that vision of Jeff wanting to help another community, and then stepping back and doing a really hard thing, which is when you try to do something that's helping and you realize it's not helping, asking the bigger question of what can we do then to actually help, which I think is really cool that they figured that out.
Yeah. An amazing organization for sure.
Yeah, it is. Fantastic, Brett. Thank you for your time today. I'm still blown away at the four clubs and the floating table.
He had it, Bob.
But yeah, we'll try to figure that one out. And that's the beauty of it, is your mind just like tries to wrap around it. And unless you know how to do the trick, you just won't figure it out.
Brett's
important thing. Some people say, you know what, I really want to figure out how the trick is done. And then I always ask them, I said, but did you have fun? And they go, yeah. And I'm like, great. That's all I care about. So whether you know how the trick is done, I really don't that's not the important factor to me. Whether or not you had fun and you were entertained, that's what I was trying to accomplish.
Yeah. So we've had Magic and Wonders contact details on the screen. It's in our show notes. Call the box office if you want tickets direct at 717-323-3077 out there on Lincoln Highway East. East side of town, just continue past Dutch Wonderland near the Revere Tavern. They're their own building, magicandwondershow.com. Brett, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you guys so much. Good to see you again.
Yes,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know. Like I can kind of do like here. I can kind of do what Brett did.
Yeah.
I can wave around the table.
I saw your hand touching.
But there's no magic in that.
No, there's
none. It just made you laugh for a moment. But yeah, anyway, very talented. Very talented. Just I don't get it. We saw the deck of cards.
Yep.
With the cartoon drawing.
Mm-hmm. He showed it to us before the show started.
And then
all of a sudden Bob was there with the four clubs.
That's just wild to me. I don't. And like the stick figure drawing was even in motif.
Right.
So like you couldn't even say he did it quick off screen.
Right. I don't know. I don't know. We don't need to know how it was done.
But we had fun. That's the point.
Fun.
We always have fun here on Lancaster Connects. Hey, as we look to wrap up, I'm going to forego my sleep better tip to kind of talk about something that we do fun here and as a give back to our community. It's our Nominate a Student program. We've been a little quiet on this because it's been summertime, but gee whiz, 4 weeks till back to school, maybe 3 weeks, depending on your school.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, we'll have kids a month from this week. They'll be back in school. And so if you go to gardnersmattressandmore.com/nominate, we have a web link up there that if you are a teacher or you work with kids and, you think they need to sleep better, they might not be sleeping in the best sleeping environment, we will give them a very nice pillow. A pillow is it's a third of your spine. It supports all the weight of your head. There's something really comforting laying down on a fresh pillow, a comfortable pillow. And so we will, there we go. We will give a pillow to that student. We just ask that the nominating teacher or the person involved with that student fills out the form, and you can pick that up here 7 days a week. If we have to drop it off to you, we could probably work that out. But yeah, go to the page, gardnersmattressandmore.com/nominate, and all the details are on there for you to get that pillow for your kids. We're going to do it on the honor system. We just hope that you would take our charity and use it in the right way for the kids that need it most. gardnersmattressandmore.com/nominate.
You're doing a magic trick right now. That you're here talking and you're there talking.
Ooh.
What's going on?
It's a magic of podcast production.
It is. It's all Chris.
It's like a double dose.
Chris
of
and Cast Ahead.
I love it.
Magic.
That's right. That's right. That Cast Ahead magic is some magic. You need anything for podcasting, you call Chris Stone at castahead.net.
Does a fantastic job.
He does. All right. Is that our show?
I think that's the show.
That's our show. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate you. We'll be back next week on Lancaster Connects. Take care.